Hello everyone and welcome to the weekly pickups, and I'm completely unprepared and I forgot to check actually which number of the weekly pickups it is. Let's just let Google load quickly. The weekly pickups number 20! Number 20 for 2019. I'll turn my speakers off there. Yeah, the old room's going through some changes at the moment. The wall of games, I don't want to say famous because it wasn't, but the wall of games that you guys are all used to is now not really here anymore. That's gone, so it won't be, and it's actually in a sort of configuration that won't be shown off anymore. But yeah, I've got a whole new way of storing games, which I might do a tour maybe a bit later for you guys. We'll see what's happening. I'm still working out exactly how everything is going to be stored in the room going forward, but now it's a bit more out of sight, out of mind. It's a bit cooler, actually, looking at it. But yeah, that's for a future day. Don't worry about it. But yeah, let's get to the pickups for week 20. And we have 3 very nice pickups, with 1 on the way for next week, which should be a fairly interesting game. I'm actually a bit more excited for those games than for this one. But before we get to them, I just want to quickly say that I have sold some games recently. I don't usually tell you guys when I sell games. I just put it in the description. But I have sold some games that you guys have seen recently on the pickups. Tomb Raider Anniversary, the one that I replaced last week, already sold. And I sold that one for $9.50. And considering I paid cash for that game, what I say I pay? I said something like $3 or $4. I think I said I paid. So yeah, minus shipping and that's still a little bit of a profit, but that's going to be taken off the price there. And also, Metal Slug Anthology has been sold. I sold that at $50, which is about $10 below the par listing price, but I'm still pretty happy with that. And considering I bought that for no, I bought that one full cash, didn't I? I didn't use credit. God damn it, Napa. But yeah, I paid $13 for that, so it's 16 plus $5 we'll call 20. We'll call that a $30 profit. That's pretty nice. So now you start to see how this collection starts to pay for itself a little bit. Of course, I've been buying a lot more games recently than I have been in previous years, so it's not as profitable or cost effective as it once was, but it still is quite. And so, without further ado, let's get on to the games. Now, we'll start with the game that isn't going to be staying in the collection, because I don't believe it is a particularly good game, but it does trade in for a substantial amount of credit at CEX. And that is Need for Speed Underground 2. The Need for Speed portable games were very hit and miss, especially in the early eras. The Game Boy Advance games don't really have much to offer at all anymore. I played most one a little while ago, and I struggle to believe that the others are anything but what that game was. But yeah, this game, well known as being one of the better, indeed many would argue best games on the console, yeah, the DS port is just lacking. I did try playing it, but yeah, it just wasn't catching me, and I paid $6, as indeed I paid for all of these games, each $6, making a total of 18 for this week, minus all the stuff I paid. That's going to be basically zero. And yes, I'm going to get rid of that because that trades into $13 on CEX. That's going to go towards future games, and I'm just going to deduct the cost of this from those games. So I'll be saying, oh, this game was free until such time as credit for this runs out, which is what I've been doing previously. Yeah, I don't always talk about games I device purely for trade-in, but I really should be, because you guys are interested in what I'm finding, I assume, not what I'm just adding to the collection. So next we have a game which I'm not certain as to whether I'm going to keep in the collection, but I'm going to give it a fair try. I've given it a bit of a try, and I'm lukewarm. And considering this game goes for quite high amounts, I am leaning toward the side of getting rid of it. And that is Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash for the DS. Again, $6 paid. And yeah, it's a it's a game. It's a 2D side scroller beat 'em up ish. Has really rather floaty controls. has 2-player co-op on it. You can play as how many did they say here? 2-player bench node, one cartridge needed. Use tactics. It doesn't have 9 other Godzilla plus 9 other monsters, although it does have quite a large number, more than 9 pictured. I don't believe they're repeating it yet. And yeah, this was a complete, as were all the games. They were all complete. Although, interestingly, now, to continue our discussion as to video game ratings in Australia, the vast majority of console games which came to Australia were from the European and English, British, that is, manufacturing stock. So you get pedigree ratings and you get ELSPA ratings. Very occasionally, you get something like a USK rating a bit later on, which is German standard. You never got stuff produced from Japanese stock, which would have 0 ratings. But something you extremely rarely got on any console, indeed I don't think it's too unsafe, I guess, to hazard that there would none, was American ratings, ESRBs. So American production stock, because, of course, they say NTSC and not PAL. But, of course, when you get to stuff like, I've got a particularly interesting example on, what's it called, GBA up there, but I've got one right here. This is actually an American NTSC game, and indeed, on European regions, this may be the same. So as you see there's your ESRB rating, front and back. We have stickers of the ACB ratings on the top. And indeed, if you go here on the cartridge, it says E for everyone. So, and indeed, USA. This can actually have a couple of problems in Australia when you're trading with CEX. Because one time, and I'll be honest, I was being a bit naughty in trading a counterfeit. I like to think I'm past that, but I tried to trade in a copy of a Pokemon game to CEX. And they wouldn't take it on the grounds that it said it had a ESRB rating, E. They said that DSs were region locked. DS Lites, yes, original DSs, were region locked and they wouldn't play American games. And that is some bullshit. What they had is a dirty fucking system or a dirty cartridge, like, at the end of the day. But they wouldn't take this game. At least they wouldn't, another store would. But, this game was convinced that, like, oh, no, we've tried it, and it won't work, and we'll do it. And I'm saying, I wish I'd had my DS there, man. I would have whipped it out and gone, read it and weep. But, yeah. This has got a little bit of liquid damage or humidity damage on the cover. But it goes for, like, something like $30 on eBay. So if I don't end up liking this, it may not be long for the collection. But, yeah. And finally, to round us all off, the one that will be staying for the present moment in the future is a complete copy of Point Blank on the DS. And you can see, just as we were talking about before, we have a PEGI rating and a USK rating on there. So this is a European production stock game. Indeed, let's just quickly check the manual, considering we've got the USK rating. Is this a multi-language manual? This is a multi-language manual, so yeah, we get European stock here in Australia, which, I mean, culturally it works, but logistically we're actually closer to Japan, but, So, yes, Point Blank, DS. I was skeptical when I mean, I've seen this game before in shops, but I've been skeptical. It was only $6, as I said before, but, yeah, skeptical of how well Point Blank would translate to a stylus, because, the whole point of Point Blank is it's a gun game, it's pretty much, apart from Time Crash, it's the party gun game of the PS1. I mean, there are others, Mighty Hit Special and stuff like that, but that's the one people care about, the first 3 Point Blanks. What a shame Point Blank never made the transition to PS2 or hell, even PSVR or PS3. That would be awesome if we got Point Blank back. But, yeah, so I was skeptical as to how well it would translate, because, it's just tapping, But I did try playing it, and I liked it. it was fun. The games were well designed for the format. And so, for the foreseeable future, I will be keeping Point Blank in the collection. So that came down to $18 total for this week. Pretty slow week. Not as many as there were. We know I've done a lot of rabbiting about friggin' ratings and stuff like that. And so yeah, and also for the few people who watch these, although I do very much appreciate that you do. Some announcements for the channel. What's coming up? So, I got to admit, guys, I haven't actually got much lined up in terms of stuff that's actually existing on paper right now. A lot of stuff is theoretical. I'm just trying to bash it out. Life's been a little crazy for me lately, most of this year. In some various different ways. And of course, I'm going through moving stuff around in my room and, get a tour of that. But the episodes, I finished the Yu-Gi-Oh episode. That had been taking up my psyche for a long time. Oh, actually, no, maybe I'll announce these later because I'm about to run out of memory. Okay, maybe next time, guys. See ya.